Okay, send করেছো. So how many words are there basically? I think you have checked it, right, Pratusha?
Is
How many words
is
that?
about is about 250.
250. Okay. I told you to write down 450.
I have wrote everything, but it didn't happen.
No problem. As we are starting, so see, this is the topic that you have gone through in the past week previously, right? But in the examination, they will ask question. Sometimes you are never familiar with that topic, but you have to write it at any cost because it consists 20 to 25 marks or something like that. Right? Suppose if there is a essay regarding this topic, like what will happen, you need to write down, forget about 450, you need to write down 1000 or sometimes 1200 words. Suppose, like, what will happen then, right? So, you need to practice in this way, then you can overcome this kind of problem. Okay. So, beginning of Christianity and how did it spread? See, whenever you are writing Christianity, you need to use capital letter, right? Because we are talking regarding like a religion or something like that. So you need to use capital letter. Christianity is the religion of Christians, okay? But it was not the religion of man. The Romans started selling or settling. Okay, okay, settling in the north of England. In which year?
Sir, I have written in the next para. Next
Okay,
line,
okay,
sorry.
okay, okay. At that point of time, Romans started spreading Christianity, but they were just able to spread it through North England. Okay, then at 597 AD, Saint Augustine came to England with his 40 missionaries. Okay, Saint Augustine worked hard to make the whole land Christian. Okay, first. So what was the religion back then in England?
I don't know.
Okay, okay. So you need to think in this way.
It it was sales. Sales.
Okay, whenever you are writing, you need to write down the basic thing, right? Suppose if you are writing this way, then you should knock this in your mind, like, then what was the religion then? So
Okay,
you
sir.
need to write it. So see, I am telling you the pattern, okay, Pratyusha, as you are writing this for the first time, but whenever you are writing, you need to frame this answer in this pattern, like the way that I will write. Nobody can ask question like yes, you have not written that data or that information. So in this way, you need to frame these things in your mind before writing. So I suggest you, Pratyusha, before writing, suppose if you're writing broad type question, paragraph or essay, something like that, just make a rough in any like in any pages or something like that, like points. Like so these are the 6 or 7 points that I will write. Okay, and you need to enlarge these things in your own writing. Then you will never ever forget the data, or then you will never ever forget the point that you basically want to write. Right, so this is the tactics that you need to use before writing the broader type of question like essay, paragraph or something like that. Got my point, Pratusha?
Yes,
Pattern,
sir.
write
Yes,
it
sir.
down, then you never ever forget the point, otherwise you will forget it. Then what will happen? Because we
Yes,
don't
sir.
have the time to cut these things and write it again, because we have limited time in the examination, correct? So before starting, you need to make points, like okay, so this is the topic that they have given in the question paper, I need to write it at any cost. So yes, now what are the information that I will write? So these are the 7 to 8 points that I want to add in this essay. So you need to make a rough thing in other pages or something like that before your writing. And then you need to start. Then you will never ever forget any topic or data that you need to add. So this is the pattern or the clever tactics that you need to use in your writing. It will help you. Okay. I think you got it right. So this is the
Yes, sir.
pattern. Yes. Okay. Continue. What to make the whole narration. Okay. First interrogated the king of kings. Chamber to Christian religion, and like this, the rest of the land converts, converted. Okay, the term should be convert. In Bengali, we call it all dharmantarito.
Yes, sir.
Convert means what? No, it will be not conversed. You can write converted, like converted. Okay, got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Christian, CHRIS, Christian, native. Clear. Now, after the successful journey of Saint journey, after the successful journey, Saint Augustine. So you need to give comma, right? After the successful journey of Saint Augustine, or you can write down after the successful journey, comma, Saint Augustine was honored with the post of Archbishop of Canterbury at 601. Okay. As London contained alien sections at that time, the conversation became Christian language with Anglo section thus. Okay. Saint Augustine made a headquarter of Christian authority at England. Okay. They then for 10 uh, for lots of centuries. Okay. For lots of centuries. Okay. Not only in England, Christians wanted to rule the whole world. Okay. So so they visited to India and explained about the religion to Indians. They compared Jews with Hindu gods and established many churches. Okay. They started to work on their religion regularly by proposing people and insisting them to adopt another religion. Okay. Okay. So Christianity. So see, you can write down the oldest churches, some older churches of India, like one of the churches we have in Bandel, right?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
know? It's one of
Yes, sir.
the oldest church, not only in India, but also in this South Asia, or you can say. Okay. I think it was in 17th century, as much as I can recall. So you can Google it. I basically forgot the year, like in which year
I
it was
have
basically
seen it,
established.
sir.
Okay, so
I
then
have
you
seen
are
it.
familiar, right? It's basically it's very old. Okay, forget about old. It is the oldest church in South Asia, you can say. Okay, so Bandel Church we basically call it, and the architecture that you will find, you'll never ever find this kind of architecture in any parts of the country. Okay, so that's why you can add these things, right? As you are saying, you have already seen it, so you need to add these things because as we are writing regarding Christianity and all. Yes, so you need to add these things, okay? Because it's
Okay.
basically local thing for me, right? Like
Yes, sir.
Bandel. Yes, yes. So this is the way that you need to connect. Okay, so the company so that they started to work on the religion recognized by proposing people and assisting on the religion, mostly the lower caste people. See, caste means CASTE, not this caste that you have written, that is caste vote. CAST. CAST means casting vote. In that part we use CAST, caste. But what is the spelling of caste? Like general SC, ST, OBC. On that part,
Mm,
what is the spelling? CASTE. Got the difference?
yes, sir.
Suppose I am 18. I basically want to go for casting vote or something like that. So what will be the spelling? casting.
Hmm.
Casting, that is casting vote. I mean, vote is a jati. But here, caste means that we basically call it jati. Caste is the spelling. So don't mix these things. Both are very different. Clear? So caste
Okay.
is the caste spelling and casting vote, that is caste. Okay. And the way that we have written like, but today Christians are not lower caste. So caste will be the spelling. Okay. They are successfully living in Northeast. Okay. Northeastern states in India. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you can write like northeastern states in USS. You need to write down they are successfully living in northeastern part of India or northeast states in India. So in this way you need to write. People are living happily with their own religion. Northern Indians, Christians are living without identification. Okay, so following their religion quietly. Okay. So in one word, we could say that Christianity came to England but couldn't spread all over the England. Okay, as you are writing for the first time, but as you have written 250 words that you are basically saying, but you need to frame these things in this way, and only then you need to add. And as I told you, in our upcoming sessions, try to focus on photo. That's why I told you to buy a map book, right? Can you recall it,
Yes.
Pratusha? Because this will help us in our further writing in the upcoming months. Okay, so it's basically very important thing because a general thing will never ever help us to get tips. We need to go for perfection. So for this course, we need to focus on that part. And the way that you have written, that is okay. But obviously, you should have data. As you can realize, like whenever you are writing, you need more information. Concrete information is basically needed. So focus on these things in detailed manner whenever we are reading something. Okay, so and try to absorb the data and try to realize the concept and try to write down the summary. Then you'll be able to enlarge these things. Okay. And if you know in detail part, you can write down in summary manner. But if you know only the summary, then there is a problem. So we need to think in this way, and rest of the things are basically okay. Okay, got it? Tushar, whatever I
Yes, sir.
basically got it.
Yes, sir.
Rest of the things are okay. Try to focus on the spelling. Okay, don't do spelling mistakes. The way that I basically told you, don't do grammatical mistakes and all. And rest of the things are basically okay. So now I'll focus on the other homework. Sentence. Christianity. Conversation on language section. Okay. Next one. New degree. Talk person is and what before. Order. One mother or see, if you can see like there is no space, just go to the second line and then you need to write as I told you earlier. Okay, don't write half thing in first line and half thing in second line. Okay? It looks bad. Private spelling PRIVATE. Got it? Private hospital. What is the spelling of private? Nipah virus, fourth line. Just watch it. Got it? Yes. Don't do this kind of things. That's why I basically told you try to revise these things. Okay. Suppose you have written these things, then your duty is to revise these things like whatever I have written, whether it is okay or not. If there is any, uh, you know, spelling mistake, then you will be able to find it. Otherwise, as you can realize, there is no mercy for a spelling mistake. And forget about marks, then it will basically destroy your impression. Okay? Because as we are going for post graduation exam, suppose try to try to sit on the teacher's seat and think like what we will do, what marks that you will basically give, like as you are checking the post graduation answer script and some students are making this kind of spelling mistakes multiple times. So think in that way. So don't
Yes, sir.
6 9 police is what?
Spelling mistakes.
So yes, so that's why actually like don't do this kind of, there is no meaning regarding police. What? Right? So focus on this.
Yes, sir.
Police finally turned it. So it's okay, but 5 days the girl died. Okay. Uh, then police order post-mortem report. The report said that the girl was sexually harassed. Okay. There were multiple male aggression, coercion, and physical injuries all over the body. Okay. Starting sign of possible starting sign of sexual violence this cannot be ruled out. Police had largely charged the family for personal. Police had largely charged the family for personal information. Means what? What is the meaning of this sentence? Police has largely charged the family. Which family? For personal information.
The girl's
Means what?
family.
The girl's family. Why they basically
Yes,
lathi
sir.
charge the girl's family?
Because the police were expecting something that the family was hiding about the girl.
Okay, okay, okay. So they are lathi charging the girl's family member, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. They say that the hostel authority offered them 10 lakh to close the case. They said that means the parents' family, like the
Yes,
victim
sir.
family. The victim family,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay, okay. 10 lakh to close the case. The police is investigating about this. Okay, okay, I got it. So this is the information. So nowadays, this kind of situation is happening on a daily basis.
Yes, sir.
Neat experience. That means she is at least 16 to 17, not more than that. Because, yes, 17 to 18. Because generally, if you are 17-year-old, you are already in college.
Yes,
17
sir.
to 18. So see the situation. 10 minutes delivery. That's why, parents needs to focus on like what they are, children are basically doing. This is very important because it's, uh, children don't realize like what is good or bad or something like that. So that's why these things are basically very very important.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 10 minutes delivery is stop. We are concerned. Yeah, this is a short form. You need to write down application. Okay, APPLICATION. Okay, so you need to write down in full form. Okay, which everything we need on advance. Okay, it's very helpful for us to because when we leave a normal living, we could get it within 10 20 minutes. Okay, no need to matter only money, but we never think about because they try to deliver or whatever time, we can just to found some review. Okay, and distributes the caution about minors of motorcycles are having for delivery. Twenty, tomato, tomato, 20. Yeah, everything right. And last sentence for yes on the work. I think you have seen the viral video, right? One worker is basically delivering the food in the train itself, right? And he was basically jumping from the running train, and he basically uh,
No,
left the
sir, I
control.
haven't seen it.
Okay, we have not seen it. Okay. So that was basically, I think, Blink It. Okay, not Blink It. Or Swiggy. I think Swiggy or something like that. Okay, and one passenger basically ordered food from the train itself, and as you can realize, it's a 10-minute delivery, and the app they are they schedule like they will deliver the food in your hand. So that was the
Yes,
terms and condition that was there in the app. So see, we become basically so lazy, okay, that passenger basically he was basically sitting on the seat only, but
okay.
he should take the order from the door itself, right? But as it was mentioned, like we were delivering the food in your hand, okay. So that's why this worker basically just got the running train and delivered the food on the people's hand, and then he basically left the train, but it's already running. The train was already running, and he basically lost the balance and just fell off from the train. See the situation, and it's basically passenger basically train. So this is the situation of the worker. Within 1 or 2 seconds,
Hmm.
he might have lost his life or something like that. That video was basically got viral. Okay, recently in the previous week itself. I think you have seen it, or you may see it in the like YouTube or something like that. See the situation. For merely 30 to 50 rupees, he's basically uh, see the situation. He basically he can lost his life or something like that. So after that, this topic or this news became basically viral, and one of the parliament member, that means minister of parliament, he basically took this issue in the parliament. So that's why after that only this news became basically viral, or you can say like 10 minutes delivery. This is stopped after that only. I'm talking about. I think this situation was happened 1 week ago. That video basically became viral, and crores of people basically watched it. Okay. So, but nowadays, as people don't have option, to earn money or something like that, because there is no educational qualification. There
Yes,
is no
sir.
education qualification needed for this kind of job. If you have a cycle or motorcycle or something like that, then you will get the job. And if you have
Yes.
cycle, the commission is less, because you'll never be able to go in like long area or something like that. And if you have motorcycle, they'll give you the petrol rupees or something like that, like the petrol's money, and you'll get the job. See the situation. Okay, so people are doing this kind of job for like 12 hours, 18 hours, or sometimes 16 hours a day, in order to get like maximum profit, or you can say like commission for
Yes,
every
sir.
issue. So, but the thing is this: there is no safety, there is no intensive or something like that. So this is the current situation. But there is no other option, to earn money or something like that. So people are going for this kind of jobs. But we need to focus on that issue only. That causes this 10 minutes delivery is basically jobs, and this is basically good step, because life is the most expensive thing, right? We need to
Yes, sir.
understand this one. So yes, this kind of things.
Sir, sir, have
Hmm.
you seen the new viral post of Kerala?
What?
Um, we usually see that people are harassing girls in the bus.
Okay.
The videos are getting viral. So
Hmm.
some days before, a video goes viral that a man who was looking very decent was
Hmm.
standing in a bus, and beside him a girl was standing, and he got a video about uh, this incident, and the bus was jerking, so the man was shaking his body, but I didn't think that he was doing something bad. After returning home, the girl made a video that the man was harassing herself. And then, when the video got viral, the man committed suicide.
Yes, yes, yes. I have seen it. Yes, yes, yes.
And
She's
after that,
basically.
the girl deleted the video, and now she is in the lockup.
Yes, her name is some Mustafa. She's basically a Muslim girl, and
Yes, sir.
she is not a, average girl. She's basically a content creator, and she's
Yes,
basically
sir.
very famous content creator in Kerala. Okay, so in order to gain some extra views, okay,
Yes.
she basically made these things, and not only her. See, you will find many women. Okay, nowadays are
Yes.
doing this kind of stuff. But the thing is, this try to understand there is a negative consequences regarding this kind of issue. Generally, we men offer like help in the road or something like that. I think you have seen the parody video after this, like people are making cardboard
Yes, sir. Yes,
dress,
sir.
right? I think you
Yes,
have
sir.
seen it in order to save himself from this kind of girl.
Yes, sir.
So they are making parody, but try to understand if we or if men are doing this kind of things against a woman. See, as they are doing this kind of stuffs, I will never ever allow women in the bus. I'll never ever allow women in the tempo. Tempo means like a van or something like that. Then what will happen?
Yes.
You can't do these things. So what people cannot do these things? Yes, if they basically want to boycott. As women are doing problems, so why I should go for this kind of problem? I have family, I have responsibility. You are doing
Yes, sir.
this is on you, the respect that I have earned in the last 30 to 40 years, you are killing these things within a second in order to gain some more views. So what is the ultimate value of my life or something like that? Correct? So
Yes,
if
sir.
the basically running in 360 way, so what will happen if we are making this kind of thing? Suppose I'm telling you another example. In general compartment in the train, you will find women are entering, right? There is a
Yes.
particular compartment for women, correct?
Hmm. Hmm.
But they are also, going to the general compartment, and you will find
Yes,
like
sir.
people, particularly men are giving them seats. And if some woman is basically, also if some men basically saying like, why should I, give you seat if you are making this kind of stuff? Suppose from the tomorrow, if they are basically boycotting women, then what will happen? Okay, suppose I'm doing another example also. Suppose you are going through the street. All men are not bad. You need to understand. Suppose two or three men are if teasing someone who basically come to help. Another man only. Another woman will never ever help you in the street.
Yes, sir.
So if you are, making men as your main enemy, then the society will collapse and it will be basically, extremely bad for only women, not men. We can
Yes.
boycott you, but you can't boycott men. And if you are boycotting, then everything will be collapsed. So try to understand. Nowadays, in order to get some, sympathy or you can say like popularity, women are doing these kind of things, and these are very dangerous for women only. Because as I am giving you some example, and if the people or the men started doing these things, the consequences will be worse. Okay, because as I
Yes.
am telling you as an example, like if I am not allowing you to board the bus, then you need to go for auto rickshaw, and the
Yes,
bus
sir.
fare is basically less compared to
Yes.
auto rickshaw. And same thing they can do in the auto rickshaw also.
Hmm.
Yes, I have seen the video. So if I am allowing this woman or this girl in the tempo, then she will file a case, or you can say like she will basically make a video and make me villain or something like that. Then why should I go for this kind of consequences? Just leave my auto. Just
Yes,
leave it.
sir.
So the consequences will be extreme, and people get isolated. And I'm telling you another example. Suppose government job is very limited. Suppose in the private job, if you know they basically say we don't hire women.
Okay.
Now what would be the consequences? See, try to realize the situation. This is my company. So why I make these things? To make profit. Company is for profit only. So if I hire a woman, then it will basically work for me. In which way? Suppose she basically got pregnant, then I have to bear the consequences for at least 6 months because, like, 6 months. What can I say? What is the
Maternity
term that?
leave.
So why should I do this?
Yes,
You are
sir.
destroying my company. I have to give you salary for 6 months for nothing. Why should I hire you? So they can start doing
Yes,
these
sir.
things. That is one point. Next, if I have a woman and she is doing this kind of stuff, like if suppose if you are staring someone, like you are started talking happily, and okay, this boy is not good. She is basically trying to harass me. If one woman says in this way, then what will happen? The men will never ever uh, get together for jiggling or something like that. So they'll basically become frightened. Like if we basically say something, they can file a case and for POSCO. You know the POSCO Act, right?
No.
POSCO Act. And their sexual harassment case was basically there in workplace. Okay, so suppose it's basically see in the court only listen the petitioner. That means the girl only, like whatever girl will basically say, that is the ultimate truth. Okay,
Mm.
in the court itself. So if we are hiring you, so that will be the negative consequences for my company and my other colleagues also. So why should I hire you? So if they starting this kind of stuff, what will happen? See, in each and every sector, women are basically less in number. So as this kind of case is basically increasing day by day, okay. So if they start doing these kind of things, like who will suffer the most? I think you are getting my
Mm.
point. Like I'm trying to say, I am not saying like every girl is basically got bad or something like that. But there are some women, there are some girls, they are doing this kind of stuff only for views or to get the sympathy or something like that, or the bechara type that we basically call, right? But the thing is this, the constant, consequence is basically extreme for not only her, but also the whole society, because women are 50% in
Yes,
the
sir.
society, right? We have 140 crore people, so 70 crore people are women. But if you are making this kind of, activities on a daily basis, so yes, they can do the company, like the owner. So if they are doing these things, see the situation. So, in the larger context, we need to think about this, and women should realize these kind of things. Otherwise, the consequence will be dangerous, and there is no hope because you cannot, say anything to the company or something like that because they are not opening this company for charity.
Mm.
They are opening their company, for profit or something like that. So, if they are, getting more profit hiring men, so they'll do these things. Because if I'm hiring a woman and she's doing this kind of stuff, so why should I go for this? I think you're getting my point, Pratusha. বুঝতে পারছো
Yes,
ব্যাপারগুলো আমি
sir.
কি বলছি? This is extremely important thing. And these will destroy women uh, employment in each and every sector. And forget about employment. They have to bear the consequences in road itself, in road, buses, train, in each and every sector. And the consequence will be dangerous. So you need to, if they are asking this kind of things, so you can add this kind of data also, and this is extremely crucial. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you the consequence. Very dangerous, thing that is happening right now. Only for you, people are. Do you want to add something like in which we can uh, solve this kind of issue? Solution.
by punishing the girls at the same way we punish the boys.
See, how can we punish him? Because he's no more, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, see the situation regarding his
And
family.
his mother was saying that my son was scared and crying.
And some people are basically saying that man was basically very good. He used to give sanitary napkin to the girls also.
Yes, sir.
In the on the period. So that kind of mind that he basically had. But this girl basically do this kind of stuff. And as nowadays she's not getting this kind of sympathy for playing the victim card or the woman card. So
Yes, sir.
she basically got an abscondent or something like that. But this very important issue that we need to focus. And in Kerala, the situation is very dangerous regarding the uh, conversation or something like that. So I have to share one thing. See, recently there was a student who basically got admitted in our courses. I was basically shocked to see, like she is basically Bengali Brahmin, okay, Bengali Hindu, but she is wearing hijab on a daily basis. I was really shocked to see the situation. I think you have seen the Kerala Files movie, right? I was
Yes,
really
sir.
shocked to see this is the situation. Try to understand. You got the point that I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
She is basically Bengali Brahmin. See how I can realize that she is basically Bengali Brahmin because she can talk me Bengali, and from the title itself I can realize, right?
Yes, sir.
Your title, so the title, as you can realize, you are Bengali, Chakraborty,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, sir.
But situation is she is wearing hijab on a daily basis. I was really shocked to see the
Where
situation
does he live?
in Kerala,
Okay.
Thiruvananthapuram. Okay,
Okay, okay.
so I'm telling you as an example, like see the situation is basically like a very dangerous situation that is basically happening because she is basically going on in this way by his surrounding. That's why I told you in the very first class, your friends are extremely important. Okay, try to choose your friend wisely. Okay, I was basically shocked to see like this is the situation that is basically happening. And those who are basically saying like Kerala Paris is basically myth or something like that, so they need to understand the situation. They're still hiding the truth. I was really shocked to see the situation. I said, and she's already graduate. Okay, leave it out. Connect. Okay, already make it. So how they basically brainwash her, just try to understand. And within some days, conversion will be happen as you can realize. She accepted. So the woman was waiting for a 19-year-old woman was offered the right by the boy of some village. Okay, she accepted it. The woman was ready to go. Suddenly, the boy arrived with his car along with his two friends. Okay, they were drunk firstly, then drove the car to an isolated location and left the girl. Okay, the forced the woman to consume alcohol. Okay, alcohol. Okay, so don't do overwriting. Okay, an
Okay.
FIR registered. Okay, one of them is arrested. Other two are being searched by the police. In any opinion, the government should be more aware of women's safety. The criminal should get hard punishment that nobody can think of doing such crimes. Okay, okay, I got it. Women's safety. The women related issue is extremely crucial in each and every exam. They will ask this kind of question. Okay, so try to focus on the issue, and whenever you are writing, as you have written, all of your writing, you have written the incident, but you have not given the solution. So from the next way, like from the next week onwards, in each and every topic, try to give the solution, like how you can eradicate this problem, how you can solve this problem. Solution is extremely crucial. Try to add these things, because if they are asking paragraph or essay or something like that, Pratusha, they basically want the solution. Like in which way you basically think, like if we are facing this kind of problem in the society, like what are the terms and conditions that we need to take in order to solve this issue. You need to give the solution itself. That is basically very, very important. So then they can realize, like in which way you basically, think regarding any issue or something like that. So that's why these things are extremely crucial. Got my point, Patricia? So whenever
Yes,
you are
sir.
writing for your next class, so try to add solution in each and every writing. And rest of the things are okay. The topic that you have written or the current affairs that you have written. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Agenda is important thing, right? Like what other people is basically saying, like why they are saying these things, why I became so popular, and why they are basically showing interest against me. So you need to understand these things. That will help you to realize the hidden agenda. Try to focus on that part. This is extremely important. Okay, so I think you got each and everything, like whatever I'm trying to convey you, correct? So Tushar,
Yes,
if you
sir.
have any confusion, ask me. If you have
No,
any
sir. No,
problem, hmm,
no confusion till now.
you got it. Like so. These are the terms and condition that you need to focus. As I have gone through each and every writing that whatever you have written, and the terms and condition that I told you. Try to write these things and try to follow this instruction every day. Then it will help you. And as I can see, you have not written the time duration. So try to start writing the time duration, like how much time that you basically took in order to
Yes.
write these things. So that is extremely important. And from the next, whenever you are writing something, try to add like, okay, so the topic that I have written, it took me suppose 25 minutes. It took me suppose 20 minutes. Then you can realize like in which way I need to increase the speed. Speed is ultimate thing. Sir, I know these things. Caution is basically common, but I have not covered these things. Why? Because your writing speed is basically low. So we can't do these things. So that's why start focusing on what, and start focusing on the time duration, like how much time that you are basically consuming, in order to write these things. Try to focus on that part. Okay. From next day onward, try to follow this manner. Then it will be basically okay. Now, I think page number 4, correct?
Yes, sir.
Just open your book. Yes, yes. So till which part we have done in the previous session, like the Vikings or the Anglo section of the Old English language, right? Old
Old
English language.
English after the Vikings.
After the Viking. Okay, so Old English after the Viking. Okay, then Norman conquest, right? Norman
Yes, sir.
conquest. Yes, yes. From this part that we need to focus. So here, the event that began the transition from Old English to Middle English was Norman conquest of 1066, when William the Conqueror, or Duke of Normandy, and later William I of England, invaded the island of Britain from his home base of the northern France and settled in the new acquisition along with his nobles and court. See the situation 6 lines are basically there. Okay, so in this year, Pratusha, France related, Britain related topic is extremely crucial for the upcoming year. That means 2027, as we are going for 2027 exam. Correct? In 2027, you will appear in
Yes,
CVT.
sir.
Correct? Yes. In the next year, this country is extremely important. Like this country related history, as far as Nishitaja is concerned. Like what's that? France, Britain, okay? France, Britain, USA. Try to focus on this country. This country related topic will be extremely important for the next year, because nowadays you can see the situation like in a daily basis, we can see topic or news related France. USA and Britain and something like that. So try to focus on that part. So these kind of countries are extremely important. So they'll never ever ask like who is the president of USA or France or something like that. They will ask question regarding this country which is related with our subject only. So the topic which is connected with this country, so they will ask question on that part only. So whenever you are focusing on this country, try to focus on the issues which is connected with English literature and history. So we need to focus on that part. You got the pattern, right? Both got
Yes,
it?
sir.
Yes, yes. So this is the way that we need to focus for our examination point of view. So the conquering Normans were ourselves descended from the Vikings who were settled in northern France about 200 years before the very Norman comes originally from the Norsemen. So we need to realize the recall the year. Now after that, okay, however, they have completely abandoned their old Norse language, wholeheartedly adopted French, which is so-called Romance language. Okay, nowadays we basically call French language as Romance language, derived originally from the Latin, not Germanic branch of Indo-European. So here you can see the backgrounds. If they are asking like what is the background of French language, okay, the nickname we basically say to the French language is the uh, Romance language as the symbol of love. In the English literature, we basically find like France, like the Paris, right? The Eiffel Tower. We basically, show like this is the symbol of love or something like that. Like you'll find in each and every year, many people throughout the world basically go for a click in front of the Eiffel Tower, right? As it's basically shows like a place of, love or something like that. So we need to know this kind of background, okay? So what is the beginning of the French language or something like that? What is the other name of the French language? We basically called Romance language. Romance language means is equal to French. So in this way, we need to focus on these kind of things. However, Romans in the next place spoke a rural dialect of French with considerable German influence, Germanic influence. So why Germanic influence? Because there are many, words that we are basically find familiar with this kind of language. And after the First World War, you have seen like German basically want to conquer the whole Europe. So that kind of things are basically there. That kind of invasion kind of strategy. So we need to focus on that part. So, sir, in which way I need to write? So as far as the examination is concerned, Rutusha, write down the language name and from which language they are basically inspired and from which year it was basically connected with the other language. We need to write in this way. Like what is the mother language and from whom they are inspired of. We need to write down in this way. Because in the examination they basically want this kind of data. The difference between these dialects became even more marked after the Norman invasion in Britain. Okay, and French part of Normandy to the King of France in 1204, and England became even more isolated from the continental Europe. So this is the background that we need to recall. After that, Henry IV is basically came to England on throne in 1399, and was the first monarch since before the conquest to have English as his mother tongue. So try to understand English became the mother tongue England in 1399. So this is the data that you need to focus. Okay. Suppose nowadays, in Britain and USA, they basically use English as their mother tongue. So suppose they can ask like in which year it was started from the very first time, that is 1399. So in this way, we need to focus on question because in CVT, in presidency, in Calcutta University, in Vidyasagar, they will ask this kind of things as we are going to study English literature. So these are obvious questions that they will ask because as a student of English literature, we need to know these things in very clear manner. And why should we focus on the options? We need to prepare in such a manner that we shouldn't, go for the option because we can recall these things within a second. And that should be our preparation pattern. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Next, next we have in the next paragraph, however, the peasantry and the lower classes the vast majority of the population, and estimated 95% continue to speak English, considered by the Normans a low plus vulgar tongue. Okay, and the two languages developed in parallel. Okay, so these are the things that you need to focus. Next is basically Middle English after the Normans. Mm, okay, here, what are the data should I focus on, sir? During the Norman Root centuries, in which English as a language had no official status and no regulation, English had become the third language in its own country. Okay, so you need to focus on that part. For your examination point of view, which data is extremely crucial in the second part, you will find like the universities of Oxford and Cambridge was founded in 1167 and 1209 respectively. Pratyusha, this kind of question is extremely important, and in CUET they have asked this question. Like in which year Oxford was published? Published means founded. Okay, in which year
Yes, sir.
Cambridge was established? So this is the question that they will ask. So you need to know these things. You got it right in the second paragraph, first line.
Yes, sir.
Got it? So these are the way, or these are the questions that they will ask in the examination. And unless and until we are not revising these things on a daily basis, we will never ever able to recall this kind of data. I'm telling you. Okay, so we need to revise these things on a daily basis. Only then we'll be able to recall this part. So try to read it again and again, again and again. Only then we'll be able to recall this part. Okay, got the pattern. Correct.
Yes,
Next,
sir.
um, okay, next part is okay. London had become the largest city for some times and become the normal capital at the beginning of the 20th century. Okay. So, from which century it became the capital of this country? You need to understand from the 12th century. In the last paragraph, right? Last line,
Yes,
before
sir.
the
Yes.
last line. Yeah. So these are the data that we need to focus. Next part, the 14th century London dialect of Chaucer. Okay, although admittedly difficult, is at least recognizable to us moderns as a form of English. Okay, whereas the text of the Cambridge dialect from the same period looks like a completely foreign language. Okay, so the Ormulum, a 19,000 line biblical text written by a monk called Orm from northern line close here is the late 20th century is the important resource of the regard. Okay, so this last two paragraph is extremely important. Like it was also during the period when English was the language mainly from the uneducated peasantry that many of the grammatical complexities and inflections of old English grammar gradually disappeared. Got it? The last part, the Ormulam, a
Yes, sir.
19,000 line biblical text written by a monk. Got it?
Yes.
Yes, you have to underline these things. Yes, yes, yes. These are the data that are extremely crucial. Next is basically resurgence of English. So, see, whenever you are reading, try to go through each and every line. And these are the topics that you need to focus on the most because the question will be asked will be based on these kind of things only. You don't need to recall each and everything. Pratyusha, I'm telling you, you don't need to recall each and everything. But the thing is this: whenever you are reading this for the first time, go through these things again and again. Okay, and after that, try to focus on this kind of influential data or this important data. Then you need to underline these things and you need to write it down. These things only, nothing else, and read it out again and again. Only then you'll be able to recall these things. This is the pattern, or you can say this is the mantra that you need to follow for this kind of topic. Got it? So
Yes.
this is the way that we need to focus. Next, we have resurgence of English. Okay. Uh, what are the data that we need to focus? Okay. So in the second paragraph, second paragraph, fourth line. See, there are a number of contributing factors. The English of necessary has become normalized, but over the time, the normals also become anglicized, particularly after 1204, when King John's instance of lost the French part after 1204, and the King John's inheritance lost to the French part of Normandy, the King of France and the Normans. nobles were forced to look more to the English properties. So this 1204 is the turning point. Okay, that you need to mark. Got it?
Yes.
পেয়েছো বুঝে?
Yes.
1204. Yes, this year is extremely crucial. Next, after that, you need to go to the next part. Okay, the Hundred of War against France, 1337 to 1453. The Hundred Year of War had effect on the branding French as the language of the enemy, and the status of English rose as a consequence. So this line is extremely important for your preparation. So they can ask like in from which year to which year they have a war against Britain with France. So that is 1337 to 1453. Okay, the fall of Constantinople. Okay,
Hmm.
French as the language of the enemy, and the status of England rose as the consequence. The Black Death of 1349 to 1350 killed about a third of the English population, which was around 4 million at that time. So these are the data that is extremely important because see in the examination, Pratyusha, ER is extremely crucial and they will ask this kind of ER related thing. Like so they can ask like in which year the this was basically happened like 4 million people was basically died. Okay, so that is basically 1349 to 1350. A third of English population was basically died. So we need to know these things. Next, after that, okay. After that, the step of reading, which made the English the official language and the course of the parliament, also paradoxically, it was written in French, was adopted in 1362. English as the official language was started from 1362. At the same year, Edward III became the first king to address the parliament in English. So they will ask in which year English became the parliamentary language in Britain for the first time. That is 1362. By 1385, the English had become the language of the instruction in school. So they will ask like in which year it became a common language to teach in the school. That is 1385 in English in England. পেয়েছো বুঝে? বুঝতে পারছো জিনিসগুলো? Then like in which
Yes.
way they will ask question.
Oh.
And these are the things that you can assume. If you know the data, only then you will be able to write these things. Otherwise, minus is waiting for you. So that's why these things are extremely crucial. What happened? Pratusha? No. কেটে গেল না?
No.
কেটে গেল। আচ্ছা। Chaucer and the birth of English literature. Chaucer is extremely clear. Many questions will be asked regarding Chaucer. Who is Chaucer and his background? Try to focus on that part. So and try to read out from this paragraph, like the number six. The way that I basically told you, born, died, inspired by whom, the books that they have written, in which that word still published, his writing style, okay, from which era he belongs to. So these are the way that you need to focus regarding the writer. And Joshua is extremely important as far as our English literature is basically concerned. Correct, Pratushi? So this is
Yes.
the thing that we need to focus. Like in each and every line is important. Okay, so in every line, each and every line is important regarding like Chaucer and the English Renaissance, printing, press, and standardization, like how press was basically introduced, who started these things, from which country it was started, okay, how it was basically spread. So these are the data that you need to focus. I'm telling you as an example, like in which you need to read this kind of topic. We can't ignore the data because these are extremely crucial for the examination for the factual data. So whenever you are writing these things, these things will help us for the MCQ type of question and the written exam. You need to recall these things like for Xavier's and Jabal, right? So write these
Yes.
things again and again only, then you'll be able to recall these things I'm telling you. Otherwise, there will be problems. Suppose I'm telling you as an example, like in the first book printed in the English language was Gaston's own translation. Okay, so it was in 1474. So they will ask, like in which year first English book was basically published. So the this is the way that we need to write because we are a student of English literature. So these fast related things are important. which
Yes, sir.
started for the first time. Book, press, famous writer, from which year it was started as a school teaching medium, as I told you in the previous page itself, right? So this kind of past related thing, it was started for the first time. So first related things are extremely crucial for our examination. প্রত্যুষা am I clear? বুঝতে পারছো জিনিসগুলো?
Yes, sir.
যেই যেই
Yes,
জিনিসগুলো
sir.
যখন যখন হয়েছে সেই জিনিসগুলো কিন্তু আমাদের এখানে ফোকাস করতে হবে, and that things are extremely crucial. Like suppose Joshua standardized contributed significantly to the development of a standard language, English, and the political, commercial, and cultural dominance of the East Midlands Triangle. London, Oxford, Cambridge was well established long before the 15th century, but it was the printing press that was really responsible for carrying through the standardization process. How this press was basically standardized the system, because see, you know the system, but the thing is this, unless and until you are not printing, you are not delivering these things towards the masses, people will never ever able to realize like what is happening nowadays. As we are using social media, suppose one thing is basically happening, they can got the news through the social media. On that time we don't have social media, but they have press. So whatever they basically want to published, whatever they basically want to spread, they do these things through printing presses. That's why these things are extremely important, and we need to know these things. Next is Bible part, right? The point the Bible. So you need to understand like in which year English Bible was basically published. Got it?
Yes,
Six
sir.
page last para.
Yes, sir.
Page. Yes, the Bible.
Yes, sir.
Two particularly influential milestones of English literature was published in 16th and 17th century. In 1549, the Book of Common Prayer, a translation of the charts liquidity in English, subsequently revised in 1662, was introduced into English churches, followed by 1611 by an authorized of King James version of the Bible. Or 2 centuries of the effort to produce the Bible in the native language of the people of England. So this kind of that is important. In the previous year, they have asked this question, Uksha. So we need to know these things. In which year Bible was published, in Roman language, in English language, in Britain it was published in which year, in France it was published in which year. So these are the questions that they have asked already. So we need to focus on that part. Suppose like the John Wycliffe and had made the first English translation of the Bible as early as 1384, and the illicit handwritten copies has been circulating ever since. But in 1526, William Taranil was printed the first testament, which he had translated directly from the original Greek and Hebrew. Greek means Greek language, and Hebrew is for the Jews language, right? No, the Jews people basically follow the Hebrew. Okay, so we need to focus on that part. So try to understand the religion related, language also. Suppose the Sanatani people, the Hindu people basically focus on the Sanskrit. Okay, so in this way, for each and every religion, try to focus on, like the Jews people basically follows the Hebrew. Okay, so what is the like the religious book of Jews? Tell me. Suppose
Bible.
Muslim has Quran.
Yes, sir.
In Sanatan people has in Vedas, Gitas.
Huh.
Christianity have Christian people have was Bible. So Jewish people follows what? Which text?
I don't know.
We need to focus. Granth Sahib is basically for whom? Granth Sahib is for Sikh, right? For the Jews, which what is their religious book?
Mhm.
This kind of question is extremely important. You got the question, right? Suppose
Yes,
Muslim
sir.
has uh,
Quran.
Quran. Okay. Christian,
Yes.
basically people have Bible,
Bible.
Tanakh, Hebrew Bible. Okay. And we basically call it Torah. Okay. So we need to know this term. Okay.
Torah.
So that's Torah. Okay.
Okay.
TORA. So these are the, because nowadays Israel is in news. Okay, Jewish people are in news, so we need to focus on this. So try to understand like how current affairs related question will be asked through our subject. So this is the way that we need to focus. So whenever we are reading through the text, we need to focus on this kind of data. In this way, you need to focus. Okay. Semester knowledge will help you to pass in semester, but as far as this kind of exam is concerned, they will connect it, this issue with the current affairs in this way. Okay, they'll never ever ask like who is the prime minister of Israel. We are not preparing for political science, correct? We are
Yes, sir.
preparing for English literature, right? So in which way they'll ask like how it is connected with our subject. So they will focus or they'll connect it in this way. So in which area you will find it? You will find these things in page number 7. So this is the way that you need to focus. Okay.
Okay.
Next is basically dictionaries and grammars. So the first English dictionary, a table alphabetical, was published by English school teacher Robert Cowdray in 1604, 8 years before the first Italian dictionary, and 35 years before the first French dictionary. Although admitted some 800 years of the first Arabic dictionary and nearly 1000 after the first Sanskrit dictionary. This line is extremely important for your future as a professor. I can say, okay. Suppose you basically want to become a professor, so this paragraph is extremely important for your future. You need to recall these things every day. Got it? Page number 7 and last line,
Yes, sir.
last para, dictionary and grammars. So you need to understand
Hmm.
or you need to recall like in which year, which dictionary was published. Okay?
Okay.
So this is the way that you need to recall. As we are basically focusing on first dictionary for each and every languages. So these are the way that we need to follow this part. Okay, so they are published in each and every line is important and try to write down these things. Suppose first dictionary considered anything like deletable was Samuel Johnson's Dictionary of the English Language. It was published in 1755 and is basically famous writer till now. Samuel Johnson is extremely familiar name, correct? So they'll ask these things. In which year Samuel Johnson's dictionary was published? And we are not going for class 5 exam. So for post graduation exam, definitely they will ask these things. And you need to recall the year. স্যার আমি তো স্যামুয়েল জনসনের নাম জানি আমি পড়েছিও কিন্তু রিয়াল প্লেয়ার আছে তাহলে গেল 2 নম্বরে ঠিক আছে সো দিস ইজ দ্য ওয়ে দ্যাট ইউ নিড টু ফোকাস বুঝতে পারছো তো প্রত্যুষা সো দিস ইজ দ্য ওয়ে দ্যাট ইউ নিড টু ফলো অ্যান্ড ইটস অনলি রিকলিং the more you can recall these things, only then you'll be able to click on the question in presidency, in CU, in Vidyasagar. Okay, because in other universities they are focusing on MCQ, and in Jadavpur and Xavier's, you will get maximum number whenever you are adding these kind of things in your writing. And what is the pattern, Pratusha? After writing this kind of line, you need to underline these things through your pen in order to catch the attention of the examiner. Like, sir or ma'am, I knew these things. I know these things. So you need to show off these things. Only then you will get maximum marks. Am I clear? Pratusha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is the way that we need to focus on our uh, writing. In addition to dictionaries, many English grammars started to appear in the 18th century. The best known is Robert Lord, a short introduction of English grammar, which was published in 1762. Try to focus on the famous one. Okay, which dictionary was published in which year. Okay. Suppose the first daily, the daily current was followed in 1702, and the Times of London is first edition in 1790. You know the famous the Times paper. Okay, so it was basically published for the
Yes,
first
sir.
time in 1790. Okay, in the next page you'll find it. Okay, so these are the uh, around the same time as the influential periodical, the Tatler and the Spectator, which between them it must establish the style of English in this period. Okay, so there are a lot of information in this area. Try to figure it out and try to write it and try to read it again and again, Pratusha. Because I told you the question that they will ask, and these are the questions that they will ask. So yes, in the next day we will focus on golden age of English literature. Okay, I am not giving you, extra thing because there are a lot of data that you need to memorize. It's all about memorizing, nothing else. Okay, it's all about memorization, nothing else. You need to memorize these things. There is no other path. Okay, rather than memorizing these things, and in which you can memorize, just write these things and paste it in your room and watch it again and again. Only then you will be able to recall. Okay, so these are the pattern that you need to follow. In the next class, we will focus on golden age of English literature. And okay, till now, if you have a question, query, confusion regarding any issues or something like that, Pratyusha, throughout our session, tell me. Just think about it and tell me. Like, if you want to discuss, if you want to ask, if you have any confusion, if you have any doubt regarding anything or any issue,
No, sir, no confusion.
and the topics that we have discussed regarding the current affairs, also try to realize the situation and real life things. See, in the examination, they will give you real life problem, and you need to solve these things through the solution. As we have discussed regarding the current issue that you basically told me recently, like that man basically, basically, got to this channel and he takes suiciding step. Okay. And so this kind of situation is extremely crucial, and how you can solve these things. So you need to focus on that kind of things. Okay. And try to follow that part and write it. ওকে, ঠিক আছে। আর যদি কোনো কেউ ডাকছে, কিছু হয়েছে? কোনো প্রবলেম?
না স্যার, কিছু হয়নি।
আচ্ছা, আচ্ছা। না আমি ডাকছে নাকি কেউ? ঠিক আছে? তো
না, না।
এভাবে করো তাহলে। আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। চলো তাহলে আবার দেখা হচ্ছে আমাদের নেক্সট উইকে একদম শিডিউল টাইম। ওকে? ঠিক আছে।
ঠিক আছে।
হোয়াট হ্যাপেন্ড?
সেই আগের সপ্তাহে যে জ্বরটা হয়েছিল ওটা এখনো ঠিকমতো ঠিক হয়নি। রিকভার করছি আস্তে, আস্তে।
Okay. So is it a viral fever or something like that? Have you consulted with the
Yes,
doctor?
sir.
So what did
Yes,
he
sir.
say? Your health
He said that all of this is happening just because of the weather change.
because of the weather. Okay, okay. So so you are so you are taking the medicine or something like that on a regular basis,
Yes,
right? Nowadays. Okay, that is very good. So try to have these things, because during this kind of weather, not only you but also everybody is having this kind of problem nowadays. Okay.
yes,
So basically, I have this, honey and tulsi leaves and all on a daily basis. Okay, so if you can have these things, it will really help you for your health also. Okay, so try to have these things. Okay, and like we basically call it garam masala, right? So try to have this garam masala on a daily basis. Okay,
yes,
elach and all. Okay, it will basically help you, because see, if you are having this kind of like allopathic medicine, they have some bad reaction in
yes,
your
sir.
body. So, you have this kind of Ayurvedic stuffs. It will basically help you for your overall health, and there is no side effect regarding this Ayurvedic stuff. So, I would suggest you, if you can have these things, it will help you. Okay, because there is no side effect regarding these things. So you can focus on that part. And if you have this like Ayurvedic doctor, you know, uh, in your area, you can consult them also. Otherwise, rest of the things are okay.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
now we'll basically focus on the session. And tomorrow is Saraswati Puja, right? I think you will do the puja at your home also, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so what are the things that you have done in the previous week regarding the homework? Tell me, Tisha.
Sir, I have done the timelines of literary world and the current affairs.
Okay, times of 12 volts. So what are the problems that you are basically facing, like whenever you're doing this kind of stuff? So are you facing any
Yes,
problem?
sir. Yes, sir. You pointed
Hmm.
me about the timeline, that in which point I should be concerned, but I didn't understand that how to write about this. Just normal thing like which date, which time, or something like summary.
Okay, okay, okay. So regarding the homework, these are the problems that you are basically facing for timeline, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have a problem regarding timeline, and for the current affairs, there is no problem, correct? So these are the things that
Yes,
you are
sir.
basically saying. Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
got it. Yes. Okay, okay. So yes, the way that you have written that is okay. So this way that I basically told you, to write down. Now, what is the problem that you are facing? Like you can't realize, like, should I write this line or not? This is the problem that you are facing right now.
No, sir. I was just thinking that may I know the main thing or write it in a summary way.
So the thing is this: whenever you are going through the chapter, you need to read it at least 4 to 5 times. Okay, then you will realize like what are the crucial turning point of that topic or that chapter. Okay, like the important things and all. So try to read it again, and next time you need to write down these things. Like these are the crucial or the gist of this topic or this chapter. So you need to write down these things the way that you have written. This is the way. Okay, the way that you have written, that is okay. So you can underline this part because this is a factual type of exam. So the more fact that you can recall, then it will basically help you to get more marks. Suppose I'm telling you as an example, like in which year, Christianity came to England. So they can ask,
Yes,
this
sir.
way. So the answer will be 597 80, like the way that you have written, like Saint Augustine and his 14 missionaries got Christianity to England in 597 AD. So in the examination, they can ask you in these manner, like in which year Christianity came to India. Sometimes they can ask in year, and sometimes they can ask like who spread Christianity in England. Then the answer will be like Saint Augustine and his 40 missionaries. Okay, so this is
Yes,
for
sir.
England, and sometimes they can ask as far as the India is concerned, like in which year like Christianity came to India for the first time. So this is the way that you need to focus
Yes, sir.
on. Okay, okay, in this way, yes. And see, the more you will write it, Protusha, only then you will be able to recall these stuffs. Otherwise, you'll forget it because there are a lot of data is basically there. Correct. So, in order to recall these things, you need to go through the things again and again, and then you need to write it down. Only then you'll be able to recall this. Otherwise, if you are not, practicing these things or revising these things, you'll forget everything. Okay, because chronology is there basically, right? So this is the way that we need to focus regarding this kind of stuff.
Okay, sir.
This topic is extremely crucial. So okay, as you have done this thing, so write down an essay regarding starting of Christianity and how it was spread in Europe. Very important because nowadays, Europe is in news. I think you have seen the newspaper also. Europe is in news, so write down like uh, beginning of Christianity, what beginning of Christianity and how it was spread in Europe. 20 minutes and 250 words. You got the question, right?
Yes, sir.
250, no, not 250. Write down 450 words because you need to increase the word. Because previous time I told you to write down 250 words, but the thing is this, as far as the examination is concerned, we need to write down 500 and 1000 words. So we need to increase this stuff. So the time duration is 20 to 25 minutes. পনেরো আটটার আগে বা 7:40 You got the question, right?
Yes,
Like,
sir.
yes, the meaning of the question, you got it, right? Like, what is the meaning of the question? Yes, yes. Now, after writing, you need to add the Europe map also, because we need to focus on that part. Whatever that you can, draw, doesn't matter. But we need to go for upper stage, right? For the further stage. Because, okay, so follow to the upper stage. You
স্যার
got the
আমি একটা
question,
জিনিস বুঝতে পারলাম না
right?
যে ওখানে তো অল্প একটা মানে অল্প একটা জিনিস ছিল, ওখানে আমি বাড়ালেও বা 450 ওয়ার্ডস কি করে বানাবো, এত বড় কি করে বানাবো?
ইন্ডিয়াতে কিভাবে এসছে, ইন্ডিয়াও কানেক্ট করে দেবে, ইউরোপও কানেক্ট করবে, স্টার্টিং হচ্ছে কি কি ভাবে সেগুলো স্প্রেড করতো সেইভাবে। কারণ তুমি চ্যাপ্টারটা তো পড়েছো, তাই না? একটা দুটো চ্যাপ্টার যা যা করেছো সেগুলো দিয়েই করবে। স্টার্টিং বিগিনিং কিভাবে আসছে, হিস্টোরিক্যাল ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড, current situation in Europe, like how many people are basically followers of Christianity in Europe right now. So you can add this kind of present data also, how it is happened. Okay.